Hello everyone, welcome to another news roundup session. We're going to be going over everything that happened from after my first one all the way up to this video's release date, so you can be all caught up before the next wave of news. Like with the last one, I'll be splitting this into sections and adding extra details where I see fit, so without any further ado, let's get started. First up, the weapons. There's a bit less to go over this time. We got Range Blaster and Luna Blaster. We've already seen the normal one before. The Luna Blaster model has a bit of transparency in the model, which is cool, kind of similar to what they did with Junior, and Range Blaster looks fantastic as per usual. Along with this is basically the confirmation that blasters are their own weapon class, and I'll have even more to say about that later. Next up is the dualies. We saw the dapples already, but now you get to see them spin in high quality, and we got the normal dualies. It turns out Nintendo decided to keep them the same model, probably because they're the staple Splatoon 2 weapon, and they didn't really want to change it because of that, which makes sense. Right after that was the brushes, which again, also confirmed as their own weapon class. Octobrush has a little bit of model upgrades, but outside of that, there's no major changes. Oh, and Inkbrush also got to spin. And the final weapon class to be revealed is the Brellas. We now know that normal Brella isn't just blue, it's actually a color changer depending on the color of ink that your team is on. Basically being the same as Sorella, which I think is amazing. Also, I really like the sides that look like torpedoes on it. Can only hope that kit I want actually happens for it. On top of that, Tenebrella looks mostly the same, which is good because I think it's one of the best models in the game, but the sides and top are a lot easier to see through, which is a cool quality of life change for both fighting and using Tenebrella. So I lied when I said that's it, because some random paper or something in Japan happened to have the models for Carbon and Scope Charger on it. Scope Charger looks pretty cool, and Carbon is the same model, but now the color yellow, which I find funny because people commonly mixed up Carbon with Splatoon 2's Hero Roller. Now if you use the new Splatoon 3 model, they look basically identical, but hey, maybe this means Hero Roller will get a revamp. I hope so, because the Splatoon 1 Hero Roller was miles better. Next up, I combined the customization and single player together because there's realistically not a lot here. I mentioned eyebrows last time, but now they have their own official post. There is a lot more of them than I expected, but this is something we've known about for quite a while, so it's cool to see it officially confirmed. Another thing we already knew about that got its own post is the tricolor eyes. It seems there are a few more of them, and they are awesome. My personal favorite is the blue-red, which is very close to my optimal color combo, and I honestly might try that out for Splatoon 3. And single player just got one post. Oh well, it's better than Salmon Run, I guess, which is that Sheldon has a bit of a new model, and the sunken scrolls are back. They look like they could be more detailed than Splatoon 1 and 2, but it's a bit too early to see. Either way, I like these for the lore bits they give, so I can't wait to read them. Speaking of random lore posts, while it's technically not a Splatoon JP post, I feel obligated to cover these few things. First of all, there is a custom OLED Splatoon 3 Switch, Pro Controller, and Joy-Cons. I will definitely be getting the Pro Controller. More importantly though, if you want to learn more about Splatoon lore, there is an entire website that's recently been translated into English. I won't cover everything here because lore is not really my specialty, and I'm sure someone like Rassicus can cover it better, but here are a few weapon details they mention on the site that are relevant for me. Brushes and blasters are once again listed as their own weapon classes. By the way, I'm going to mention that this site uses mostly stuff from Splatoon 2, it's just that some of this info will probably carry over to Splatoon 3, so don't be surprised by all the Splatoon 2 stages here. Squidford's charge speed being the same in midair was a buff way back in 2018, and now it's listed as a staple feature of the weapon, which I think is just amazing. For a while, some players speculated that Dynamo Roller was never intended to be a painter with how hard it got nerfed between games. However, according to this website, yeah, Dynamo is meant to be a painter and fling ink around, so they really just nerfed its paint that much. Wow. Hopefully it paints better in 3. Finally, we got some sad news. Now, ever since Nintendo's confirmed that all base main weapons are returning to Splatoon 3, quite a few people held out hope that this means Dual Squelcher would come back, since it was his own weapon compared to Dually Squelcher. Well, according to this website, Dual Squelcher and Dually Squelcher are the same weapon, which means it's almost certainly not happening in Splatoon 3. I'm sorry, Dual Squelcher fans, but that's just what it says. Maybe next game. And finally, for the non-Splatoon JP related news, this is Splatoon's game icon with 1 squid. Here's Splatoon 2's with 2, and now we know Splatoon 3's with 3. I really hope they keep up this trend, so in Splatoon 10 we have something looking like this. It would just be funny. And before we can get to the main highlights of this news dump, we have to speedrun the brands once more. We got Zeko. Nothing super new style-wise, but the clothes are very skater-like. Rockenberg, with very rugged type gear. Embers, easily the most interesting. Not only is this our second new brand, meaning possibly 2 new stackable abilities, but the gear here seems to be multiple pieces stitched together, which is brand new and fits with the theme of Chaos very well. The shoes are probably a favorite of mine. I love the purple and red. I have a feeling this will be the Tony Kensa of Splatoon 3 brands and be a bit more important than it seems. Firefin, it exists, I have nothing to add to it. Splash Mob has a, quote, casual yet refined style. I like the pictures for these as they have a lot more character than the usual posts. modes. Scallop, they have some new designs. It looks cool. Inkline, a dirty outdoor brand that is also very colorful. And with their giant shoes, we have the final returning brand, which is Zinc. Congrats, you made it through it. Here's some random summer art we also got. It also looks very amazing. We got a brand new stage, Mincemeat Metalworks. It's gonna take forever to say that right consistently. But anyway, this is basically a facility made from scrap metal that also makes scrap metal. The spot of this also has a really cool wrecked ship in the background, and apparently an entire ocean or sea used to be here. Now, compared to the last stage, it's a lot harder to tell the overall layout of this, though I do think the details in the background are much better than anything else we have so far. A Twitter user named Phil actually tried to lay out the map as much as possible for what we've seen so far, and this is what it looks like. It seems very, very similar to Mako Mart in terms of being an overall small stage while still having a decent variety of places to move around in, which I think is pretty interesting. The small size and uninkables do worry me a little bit, but it still looks miles better than most things in Splatoon 2 due to the amount of options, and I like the grates connecting the whole thing. It feels very cool, and we saw a similar theme in Scorched Gorge, so maybe that's something we'll see more of. And we also get to talk about something I thought I would not be able to say anything about until the Direct, which is new modes thanks to this Twitter account. The translation of this is new district, aka Splatsville, new arenas, aka stages, weapons that we've already seen, equipment, aka gear, and most importantly, new modes and more, confirming at least 2 different modes. Now, to be clear, we don't know what exactly do they mean by modes. Does this mean something like Salmon Run being a new mode in Splatoon 2 or Clam Blitz being a new ranked mode? It could be either of them. We just know by the term of modes that there's at least 2 of them, and Splatoon 2 only had 1 of them on launch, being the aforementioned Salmon Run because Clam Blitz was DLC. Either way, I don't think we'll have to wait long to find out, and hopefully this is once again more of a confirmation that this game will be much more loaded on launch than Splatoon 2 was. We have one new song from Seaside called Paint Scrapper. It definitely feels like a sequel to Metal Pod from Splatoon 1. You can find the full video on Nintendo of Japan's YouTube channel. I've left a link in the description. I would rate this a solid S tier. Well guys, there's only one more thing left to say. We made it. The Splatoon 3 Direct is in 2 days. We've gone through all the posts, all the lack of major info, and we're finally gonna learn everything about the game. I'm gonna be predicting Kraken, I'm gonna be predicting Echolocator, I'm gonna be predicting Flounder Heights comes back. Truthfully, I don't even know what to say. We could be getting a new weapon class, we could be getting new ranked modes, new modes in general, more info to Salmon Run, more single player news. We're gonna get so much new stuff, I don't even know what to expect fully, and that's what's gonna make this so awesome. So I'll see you guys at the Direct.